Scarlett, we've all seen the pictures on TV, online. Just set the scene for us and what you've seen and what you're seeing right now.
Well, I'm on Amsterdam Avenue. I'm not on campus because they've basically shut down campus to all but students who live on campus. So even those students who I spoke to who have a dorm off campus, they can't access the academic buildings that they were attending classes in just a few days ago. Of course, the good news is it's study period. Classes have ended for the semester. They're getting ready for finals on Friday. And of course, after that, getting ready for their graduation ceremony on May 15th. But about 14 hours after a group of students, as you mentioned, took over Hamilton Hall, which is right behind me and features lots of banners like Free Palestine and Glory to the Martyrs, Columbia University itself has finally responded. According to Columbia spokesperson Ben Chang, protesters have chosen to escalate to an untenable situation. He goes on to say that students occupying the building face expulsion from the Ivy League school, and those who do not leave the encampment are now being suspended. Seniors will not be able to graduate. And of course, the encampment started in earnest about 2 weeks ago when the president, Manoush Shafiq, went to Capitol Hill to testify before Congress. This being New York City, if you go to the other side of Columbia's campus on Broadway Avenue, you do have small protests of people who are not students, including some who say that they were on campus in 1968 occupying Hamilton Hall to protest the Vietnam War, including counter-protests as well. And of course, this being New York, you also have vendors taking advantage of the situation. We saw people selling Palestine flags and keffiyehs, those headscarves that a lot of the students are wearing.
You know,
Carol?
Scarlett, remind us of the student demands right now, and a lot of it goes back to the endowment.
Yes, absolutely. So the endowment that Columbia has is almost $14 billion, $13.6 billion. And what the students have been demanding is for financial transparency. They want to understand what the university is investing in. They then, as a follow-up to that, they demand that this university divest from companies in Israel that do business with Israel and that do business in Israel. Of course, that is much easier said than done because an endowment doesn't just invest in specific companies or specific corporate bonds or treasuries for that matter, right? They invest in hard assets like real estate. They invest in venture capital. They invest in hedge funds and private equity. So there are a lot of companies that do business with Israel. Alphabet, for instance, or Microsoft. And do you then therefore sell shares of those companies? What if those companies are embedded in indexes that the endowment is exposed through index funds? How do you divest from that? It's a very complicated issue.
Well, speaking of it being a complicated issue, it's also a complicated issue for how much funding the school gets from alumni, because it's a really important base for the operation of the school. And we've heard in recent weeks and recent months from some alumni who are not so happy with the school. What's the latest, though, in the last couple of days of what some prominent alumni are talking about and their reaction?
Yeah, well, we've heard from Robert Kraft, who, of course, is the owner of the New England Patriots. He has said that he stopped donating to the university. There's also Leon Cooperman, the billionaire investment. There are reports that he has halted donations. He went to Columbia Business School. In addition, you have Len Blavatnik, the industrialist, who reportedly may also pull back on his giving to the university. According to reports, the three have donated an estimated $100 million to Columbia. So there are plenty of alumni who are not happy with what they're seeing, whether they see it from the pro-Israel point of view or from the pro-Palestine point of view.